I don't know why. If you live stream from YouTube's platform, I'm not on StreamYard this morning. I'm going to try to keep up with comments the best I can, if anybody has any this morning. Because as you can see, I am driving down the road, and it is raining. So, yeah, that's what I'm dealing with today. Excuse me. But anyway, it's been a rough week. Really rough week. And today I am headed right now to Pensacola, Florida. And just to give you an insight as to what I'm doing today, I am currently going to go to Pensacola to hopefully, if the weather doesn't like crap on us this morning, too bad, I'm going to film a B-17 World War II bomber. And you will be seeing this video come up on here on the channel and sometime in the immediate future. Like I said, just to give you an insight of what's going on here. This has been a rough week. My grandfather is not doing well at all. And honestly, I haven't been able to finish the next series of the American Revolutionary War series yet in the editing process. That episode is coming from Savannah, Georgia again. We are going to be diving into a place in that episode called the Spring Hill Redoubt. And that is the main area today in Savannah that is actually preserved from the Battle of Savannah during the American Revolutionary War. And it's a very cool episode, and I want to make sure that those episodes I spend a lot of time on them. There are some episodes I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and I want to make sure they're done properly in the editing phase. So I'm spending a lot of time on each episode because of that. And with everything going on this week, and I did tell in the last week, honestly, my mind hasn't been on editing. I don't know. I haven't really been here this week. It's been a very rough week. My grandfather is one of my biggest role models. Practically has had a huge hand in raising me. I've spent most of my life, with him. A lot of my life with him, growing up. And he is a Korean War vet. He was in Korea. Him, along with all of my uncles, his brothers, they were all in Korea. And yeah, it was, he hasn't taught much about Korea. Me being interested in military history, I mean, even with that, he has not really told me a whole lot about Korea through my entire lifetime. It's just something, he's one of those types of veterans who just doesn't discuss it. So, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information from when he was in Korea because he just didn't want to talk about it. And that's understandable. A lot of veterans are like that. So, it is, it's been a rough week. Really rough week. He's still hanging on as of now, but everything, I went and spent some time with him on Sunday, and I was able to do what I needed to do, and he's not responsive anymore. He was just a smidgen to me on Sunday when I went and saw him. And for me personally, I don't want to remember my last moments with him be him unresponsive and just basically sitting there and watching him go. I don't want that. So if I had to remember him in that state, Sunday was probably the best case scenario for me, because he was able to murmur to me that he loved me before I left, and now he's unresponsive, and that's not going to happen. So I'd rather leave on the good note I left Sunday with. I can't really say I made my peace with it, but I spent time with him like I wanted. So, yeah, it's been a rough week. But we all go through that. There's not a single person watching this live stream or in this entire world that hasn't went through that. And it's definitely hard though. It doesn't ever get any easier, and I don't really think it's supposed to be. But yeah, anyway, that's where we are right now. I'm still in the editing process of that Savannah video. I haven't been able to spend a lot of time editing this week. Honestly, I haven't really wanted to. sound now? So hopefully so. I don't know what's going on with that this morning. I think it's something on YouTube's end, honestly, because I'm showing everything is great here on my end. So hopefully now everything is fixed. But again, this morning we're going to go and tour this B-17. And this particular B-17, like I said, all right, cool deal. Something going on with YouTube in the connection this morning. So today we're going through with this through the tour this B-17. If you guys didn't hear anything I said before, I guess I'll repeat it. But Millsap Duo says there was no sound. So what's going on is just with everything going on this week with my grandfather. You know, I have the next episode of the American Revolutionary War coming from Savannah, but this week with everything going on, honestly, I have not felt like sitting in front of a computer and editing. It just has not been a good week. And so I just haven't, honestly, I have not felt like it, and I could throw it out there pretty quick, but I want to spend quality time on these episodes because this is a very big series that I've been looking forward to doing, and I don't want to rush it. So I had a phone call yesterday about this B-17 in Pensacola, Florida, a World War II B-17, and that is where we're headed right now. It is storming, and the original plan was to go up on this B-17 today and fly, but we are not flying due to a tropical weather system that's pushing through the area. Neither do I want to fly an vintage aircraft in a tropical storm, or not really a tropical storm, but you know, stormy weather like this. And so I've spoken to the crew chief and the ground crew, and we are going to get an in-depth tour of the B-17 and its history of this particular B-17 we are going to this morning. It is out of Michigan from the Yankee Air Museum, I believe, if that's correct. And you'll see more about this museum a little bit later in that episode. But we are going to get an in-depth tour of this B-17. And this particular B-17 was one of the B-17s, one of 5 planes, I believe it was, used in the filming of Tora. And if there's any flyable B-17s left besides this one, I am not for sure how many there are. And that's a question that will be answered by the crew here this morning. Again, I don't know everything. Regardless of what you guys think, I know next to nothing, honestly. I'm so jealous. I have about to fly in both B-29 and the B-24 Liberator, but not a B-17 yet. Yeah, I'm not flying in this B-17. It was the original plan to try to do that, but with the weather this morning and not enough tickets sold to do so, we are not going to be doing that. Jack popping in. Jack is actually meeting up with me here in just a few minutes, him and another friend of ours, and they're going to tour the B-17 with me. It'll be an in-depth look at the B-17 bomber. And this particular one, like I said, was one of 5 used in the filming of Tora. It was constructed in late 1945, but it did not make it overseas in time to see the war. So it has never seen any combat action at all during World War II or afterwards. Its paint scheme is a chrome paint scheme because when it was released from the factory, it never made it into World War II, so it never got that OD green paint scheme. So it remains in the chrome paint scheme, and from what I read on this aircraft, it was put into usage around the Antarctica area and doing some reconnaissance, and then later it was transferred to the Coast Guard and served actually as a rescue type plane with a Coast Guard, and as well it served as a firefighting plane, dropping water of this aircraft. It was sold, I think, for $200 and something thousand, and the Yankee Air Museum ended up procuring this aircraft, got it a full restoration, I think around 2004 or 2007. Again, we'll find out information a little bit later, and it was restored fully to flying condition, and it is now serving as a flying museum, flying from place to place in cooperation with the Yankee Air Museum, who has a total of 5 flyable vintage World War II aircraft and a couple of Korean War aircraft and Vietnam aircraft, if I'm not mistaken. So they have a total of 5 flyable aircraft. They fly around the United States and I think the world, actually, as flying museums. Just so happened to be coming through Pensacola, Florida, and schedule a 2-day stop in Pensacola, Florida, where we are now headed to go see it. And after this, it is headed to Houston, Texas. So if you're in the Houston, Texas area, or anywhere close to Houston, Texas, get on Facebook, look up the Yankee Air Museum, look up Houston, Texas, and you will, Lady Yankee, I believe, is in the aircraft, and you will actually be able to go see this aircraft for yourself. And for $500 something, you can take a flight in it. So it is available to do that. You can take flights in this thing too. It just costs a little bit of money. And from what I've seen on all of your other aircraft, it does cost a pretty good amount of money to fly, but I'm sure it's an experience that you will never be able to get again. So pretty neat. There's only, I don't even know if this may be the only flyable B-17 left. I really don't know. We'll find out more about that this morning. So that is where we're headed this morning. We are headed now to go meet Jack, go meet our buddy Dan, and we are headed to the airport in Pensacola, Florida to tour this B-17 World War II bomber. Or, World War II constructed B-17, but actually never bombed anything, but still it's a B-17, so it's cool. And then we will be on to the next episode, which will be from Savannah, Georgia. So for this episode of this B-17, you will be seeing this episode this week. So with that being said, guys, just want to give you insight as to what's going on here, what we're doing, and where we're going. Military duo, I have been able to fly in a F1, I believe, and a Diamond Gal. You have to excuse me. I don't really know aircraft. I know a lot of aircraft, but I don't really know how to pronounce the names that much of some of these. But I'm taking this F1 and a Diamond Gal from the Commemorative Air Force. The Commemorative Air Force actually come through Pensacola earlier this year, and I looked into flying on some of those, but unfortunately, it was way too expensive for me to be able to afford. Those are super cool. A B-24 is on a bucket list. Yeah, B-24 is definitely on my bucket list. I would love also to fly in a Mustang one day. I'm going to make that happen one day, but it won't be today. And I wish a B-17 was coming off the bucket list today, but it's unfortunately not. And that kind of sucks because the weather is always hindering us. But yeah, that's where we're headed right now. And with that being said, I'm about to lose signal on this. So I'm going to jump off here because I don't want you guys sitting here waiting for signal to come back. And I've still got a lot of coffee to drink and a lot of stuff to read before I get here. So that is what I'm doing. And we will see you on this episode of History Saver from the B-17 tour. Be looking out for the episode probably sometime, hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to film this today and push it out this afternoon and get it edited and out for you for tomorrow, because I promised you an episode of History Saver this week, and by gosh, I'm going to deliver on that, even if it's not the American Revolutionary War episode that we've been hoping for. That would come hopefully next week, so stay tuned for that. And again, I'll apologize, but it's been one of those weeks. Just thank you for hanging with me. I know we need to talk later. Just let me know when. Yeah, we definitely do need to talk Milsep duo. It just this week just kind of fell through with everything going. And then it's been one of those weeks I just haven't felt like even picking up the computer much, to be honest with you. So my mind's definitely not been in the work mode this week for sure. But somebody said, it's funny how that works. Somebody says B-17. Well, by God, I'm going to see B-17 this morning. My grandfather's still with us as of now, so I said my piece on Sunday. He was able to be responsive to me on Sunday, and as of now, he's not responsive anymore. And I really don't want my last memories of him being like that. So I I spent the time with him I needed to on Sunday, and it's been a rough week. It's been a really rough week. So yeah, it is. This is part of life, though. Everyone goes through it. So it's just one of those times you go through the mud, and then eventually you come out on the dry ground on the other side. So we'll go see this B-17. Bring you the episode later on this week. Probably tomorrow, and I'll be looking out for it. And thank you guys so much. And I'm gonna jump off here before we lose signal, and you're stuck here with a dead in a water stream. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you later on, and may do another live stream sometime throughout the day. We'll see. So let's go meet Jack and Dan, and let's go tour B-17. See you then.